All right, here we go. Final video in this series. Again, thank you very much for paying attention to these. It's a very important responsibility for you as a box office or as a board member to learn how to operate our box office. So it's super important to know how to do all this. I'm going to very quickly go through everything else that we covered in this video series. So you have kind of a one-stop shop for how to do everything. So when you open up Firefox on the computer, it should take you right to Tickets to the City as the homepage. You're going to log in. The password should be taped to the laptop. Click Login. First thing you're going to do for the night is you're going to print off the will call list. So that's Menu, Tickets, Print Event Tickets, select your show. Takes a second to populate. Select your date, show print options, print will call list, and click there to print. And then actually hit print. You're going to want to hand that off to the person working the table, and they will manage that for the rest of the evening. To actually sell tickets, go to Menu, Box Office, Events, select your show. You can double click or click this button up here. Select your date. The purple squares have already been sold. Green squares are available to purchase. For any ticket that you're selling, simply click the square, select your right price point. Typically will be adults, but we also have student and senior discounts as well. Click those, and then select your payment type. Remember, any face-to-face payment will always be cash. We're going to treat it as a cash checkout here. Whether they're actually paying with cash, check, or credit, we always treat it as cash. Click that. Ask for the customer's name. If they've already bought tickets with us in the past and given us their information, they'll show up in here. Click that. Everything will pre-populate. If they don't show up here, you can fill in as much of it as you can. But on show days, as you're selling, as people are walking out the door, it's not super important. But do go ahead and put their actual payment method in here, whether it's cash or credit or a check. If it's a check, be sure to put the check number. Cancel here. If you're going to comp an order, do the same thing. Click Comp Order. Try to find their info if you can. If not, fill in as much as you're able to. And then, this is very, very important, put the reason you're comping the order in here. Whether that's Red Bull or Cast Comp, or it's a gift certificate or a radio station certificate. Whatever reason you're comping the ticket, just put the reason here in special instructions. Cancel here. To ring up tickets as Flex Reservation for a season ticket holder. Click Flex Reservation. Type in a portion of their name up here. Click Search. Make sure you've got the right person and make sure they have enough credits to actually use. If it says 0, we can't reserve a ticket with their Flex package. Let's just select that. Click Make Reservation, and then that will deduct the however many seats they have. They're wanting to reserve. We'll deduct that from their season ticket account. To refund a ticket, I'm going to actually remove these here. To refund a ticket, you're going to want to select one of the seats in the order. Always click Order Details and verify how many seats are part of that transaction. We are not capable of refunding a portion of a transaction. That's not a TOTS policy. That is a limitation of Tickets to the City. So be cognizant of that. If you're refunding the order, click Refund Order. Yes, we want to release the purchase items back to inventory, and then put the reason. I'm not going to do that here. Click Cancel. Remember that you need to avoid refunding seats if at all possible. It's more okay to refund a seat if it was a season ticket holder Flex Reservation or a comped order. But if it's one where they actually paid us, you need to avoid refunding if at all possible, because it just creates monetary headaches. If you need to update a reservation, go through that same process, click the seat. It'll bring up the entire transaction, and then click one of the seats, update reservation. You can change the date if you need to, if what they're wanting to change is the date. So do that. And then down here we'll show every other seat that is available for that performance that you selected here. Select the seat and hit save. And you'll need to do that once for every individual seat that needs to be moved. To sell a season ticket, go to Box Office, Packages, 2018 season ticket, or whichever year you're in. Put in the quantity, add cart, and then check out normally. Remember, Flex reservation cannot be used to buy a season ticket. That can only be used to reserve seats for individual performances. For season tickets, we can only do cash checkout or comp order. To register a donation, click Donations. Get rid of that here. Build a new theater. $1. Add to cart. Check out normally. Again, Flex reservations cannot be used for donations. Only cash checkout and comp order. For any transaction of any kind, never, ever, ever select credit checkout, because if you do that, the customer will be charged a service charge for our performance tickets. It's usually an extra $1, but always just run our credits. Always run the credit cards through our credit card machine. If you do credit checkout, that means that Tickets to the City processes the transaction, and they get that service charge. It's not like we're making any extra money. The customer gets charged extra because that is Tickets to the City's payment from us, essentially, for using their system. So never use credit checkout. Always use cash, comp, or Flex. And, oh yeah, sales. Sales reports. You're going to want to go to Menu, Sales, Generate a Report, Sales by Date Range, select your date, and you're going to want to do the same day for the start and end date. Filter report by all sales, Generate Report. You will want to, over here on the left, click OneDrive, Sales Reports, the season that you're in, select the proper show, and hit Save. Open the folder. It's going to look different on the computer up there because I'm using Chrome. They have Firefox installed there. This file will not be there at the time. You're going to want to open up the CSV file. Don't worry about the details of this data in here. All you need to do is click Developer, Create Sales Report. The top section shows a summary of all the sales that you took in at the box office. It does not count any online sales or anything like that. It'll have a breakout of all the different ticket types, season tickets if you sold any, donations if you collected any donations, and then any other sales, like if somebody bought a t-shirt or something like that, or paid for summer camp, something like that. Down here, you'll put in the quantity of each bill denomination that you have in your till at the end of the night. This will automatically populate the numbers over here on the right. You don't have to add those up yourself. You need to ensure that you type in, after you run the credit card batch report, type in the total from there. My numbers aren't adding up because I'm doing this off the top of my head. Put in your number, the total amount you collected from checks. If all of your numbers line up, this will say, hey, everything's good. So you'll want to first go to File, Save As, and we're going to save this as an XLSX file. Do not select XLS. Do not leave it as CSV. You'll want to do XLSX, this very first option here. Click that and save. And then you'll also need to print this off. File, Print, Print. Once that prints off, you'll need to get another board member present to count your cash, total up your checks, and make sure that all of your math here lines up and that you're not stealing any money. If everything's good, you'll both sign here on the counted by and verified by, and bundle this report with the information that goes into the manila envelope and into the box office file cabinet in the closet. So at that point, you can close this, and you'll want to delete the CSV file. Be sure you leave the XLSX file. Lastly, you will create the attendance report. You go to Menu Sales, Generate a Report, Event Ticket Sales. Select your show, sales report by event date. Select the performance, generate report. And then this one, you'll go over here again to OneDrive, select attendance reports, the season that you're in, the right show, and hit save. Again, open this up in the folder. This won't be there. Open up the CSV file. Again, don't worry about all this raw data. Just go to Developer, Create Attendance Report. And this will have a summary of everybody that showed up to the show and how they got their ticket, whether that was purchased online, flex reservation, comped, sold at the door, anything like that. So this performance had 52 people, and this is a good way that you can also verify that the total sales that were collected from actual tickets to the performance matches up with what came out in the sales report, because what gets calculated under here should only be things that you sold at the door. So again, File, Save As, change that to XLSX, and save. And you don't need to print this out, you don't need to count anything down, and you don't need to sign anything. So just close this, delete the CSV file, and you're done. Close down the computer and go home. Thanks for watching, and always refer to the Box Office Handbook if you have any questions.